it feels like I obviously am a black man.
Yeah.
Paris is an
Black
African
woman.
woman. She's black.
Yeah.
And you come to a country where like they seem to idolize you and hate you at the same time.
Ooh, now that's a word. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Korea Unfiltered. Happy New Year's, guys. I can't even speak. Today's episode is the first episode of Korea. It's definitely not our first episode. We're like on episode 50. Today's episode is our first episode of 2025. So happy New Year's, guys. And I wanted this episode to be a special episode because I have a guest who is now a repeating guest. He was my first ever guest on Korea Unfiltered. And you know, I love a supportive friend. He's been there through the beginning of this podcast. And now he's here the beginning of the year for us to talk, have a chat, see updates on his life. So introducing today's guest, Colin! Woo! I feel like we should do a greeting.
Where do I look?
Right there. I felt like we were doing that. Woo! Like, go Colin. Go Colin. Go Colin.
Go Paris. Go Paris. Go Paris.
That's a preview to our new dance that's dropping soon.
A little snippet.
Do you want to reintroduce yourself, Colin?
Yes. Hi everyone. My name is Colin Dean. I am a dancer, model, and that's it.
Dancer, model, just entertainer.
Entertainer, yeah. I'm an
In general.
entertainer here in Seoul, South Korea.
South Korea.
Broken promises.
Broken promises. So, what have you been up to since our last episode, which was, I believe, November 2023 is the last time I saw you. Well, the last time they saw you. I see you a lot.
Yeah, quite frequently.
I see you a lot.
What have I been up to?
What has changed in life since 2023?
Oh, I've been doing a lot of backup dancing work, English. I've been doing a lot of backup dancing work for artists such as Twice's Nayeon and Misamo from Twice. I went to Spain to film their Japanese comeback. I was really busy this whole entire summer. Could barely see
You're
Paris.
becoming like a K-pop backup dancer now.
Yeah, and like the blessing is that a lot of the people that have been in these projects with me were also people that I've gotten to know over the years that I've been in Korea. Good friends and really talented dancers. So it was really such a great opportunity to be able to do this with them.
Yeah. Is it something that you've always wanted to do, like being a K-pop backup dancer?
Not necessarily a K-pop backup dancer. I do love performing, but just, you know, being able to use my talents and use it for something that I enjoy as well was kind of like a really big opportunity for me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really something that was like on a bucket list. Well, my bucket list initially was to just be able to get flown out somewhere.
Flew
for
out.
work. And it was, you know, this opportunity came along. So I was like, yeah,
The Spain
why not?
trip, right?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was really nice. We were really busy, but the weather in Spain is absolutely beautiful. Well, we were in Barcelona and Valencia and another city, Leida. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I don't want to. Lleida? Lleida or Lleida or Veda?
I know there's somebody from Spain who's like, that's so wrong.
I'm
So
sorry.
wrong. I'm sorry. We're clearly not from Spain, so.
No hablo en español.
Españole.
Perdone.
Was it what you thought being flew out would be?
I got flew out.
You got flew out.
I got flew out.
Was it what you expected?
It was a little bit more than I expected. Because I really wasn't really prepared for the amount of work that we would be putting in.
Yeah.
But, you know, I kind of went there with a conscious, like, what had it. I had a
Conscious thought that.
That's not even what I wanted to say.
Oh, that's not what you want to say? Okay.
I don't think so. Like, I consciously went there knowing that I was going to be working, obviously.
Right.
But I just didn't expect for it to be as busy as it was.
Seemed very rigorous.
It was, but it was also rewarding because we were able to also interact with the Spanish dancers, and even though there was a slight language barrier for a couple of us, because like not only were there foreigners, there were also Korean dancers, and then you had the Japanese artists who also speak Korean, and then you had the Spanish dancers who speak Spanish and some speak English. So it's like a huge melting pot.
It's really global.
Very global.
Yeah.
And it was, we were able to communicate quite nicely, and I really enjoyed being there with them. So it wasn't entirely bad. It was just like the scheduling was really, it was just
all over the place.
Slightly. Yeah. But it wasn't bad. It was just, we were just really busy.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of time traveling and rehearsing and filming.
I bet. I knew you were like really busy at that time.
Yeah, very.
But being flued out is nice. Mm-hmm. Do you think the way people perceive K-pop, being like a K-pop backup dancer, being like this like glamorous job, do you think it's glamorous, or do you just think it's like another job for you?
For me, it's another job because I've done a lot of performance work in Korea. Mm-hmm. So being able to perform on stage with another artist, yes, it's an honor that they even chose a foreigner to be with them on stage. Mm-hmm. But it's also a job because at the end of the day, this is like how you make money.
You pay rent.
Like you can be passionate about it, and you can see it as not being a job for you.
Yeah.
English is so... I apologize, everybody. Every day I speak Korean with my coworkers.
Yeah.
So it's really... I don't...
The English is not Englishing right now.
It's really quite frustrating for me. Mm-hmm. But... yeah, so like you can go into it without the mindset of, oh yeah, this is just another job, but that's literally what it's
just another job. The first time you ever worked with a Korean celebrity, how do you compare the first time you worked with one to now, where you've been in Korea for like almost 9 years? How do you compare it?
That was in 2016.
Yeah.
What did I do?
The first time you worked with a Korean celebrity.
The first time I worked with the Korean celebrity, I think it was for Icons Bobby and Winners Minho. They had like the
collab they did.
Yeah, they had like a duet thing going on, and it was like the summer that I got here.
A duo. Duet.
Yeah, they were a duo. Like they were collabing, and they released a song that same summer, and it was the summer that I had arrived in Korea.
Yeah.
And they needed like random foreigners to like.
Nyagos or foreigners?
Foreigners.
Okay. Foreign Nyagos.
Or no. But they just needed like random foreigners because we all like the shoot was in Itaewon, like the same street that the unfortunate situation happened at. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
And like there were clubs there and everything. Mm-hmm. So we were all like at this like pizza joint, like just chilling, and then like they would be like, oh yeah, like time to come up on set, and they chose 2 specific foreigners, and I just so happened to be one of them along with my friend Fonzo. And like we just kind of like pretended like we were coming out of the club with them.
Oh, like y'all were friends,
right?
Type of thing.
Like it was like, oh yeah, be like
close
buddy, yeah. So that was like my very first time. It didn't seem like that. It seemed like a very big deal for me back then because it was my first time doing something like that, and it was very random at the same time. But now it's like, okay, I'm here.
Where's my check?
Like not even just like where's my check, but it's more like. It doesn't feel like, because like when you're starstruck when you first meet people sometimes, I don't feel it anymore.
That's why I said, where's my check? Because I'm here for the money.
I don't feel it anymore. Like I've met a lot of artists and they've been really kind, and they like none of them have been like rude or disrespectful or anything like that. But at the same time, it's just like before you get into this industry, like you hold people to a certain standard and you put them on a pedestal and then you become one of them, and you're like, oh, like you are literally just like
a normal person. And Colin doesn't mean one of them as in like famous or anything, just being an entertainer.
Right.
You get to work with other entertainers who are possibly way more famous than you, but you just realize, oh snap, y'all people too at the end of the day.
You all just like mad chill.
Yeah. Y'all make mistakes like we do. Y'all funny like we are.
Well, like, because even I'm funny.
I thought you weren't gonna catch that. If you moved on without acknowledging that I said that, I would have been pissed, Colin.
That was so fucking funny. 'Cause I'm funny as Over the summer, like there was a shoot that I did. I'm not gonna say the artist, just because, like, not because it's her, but just because, like, of what was tied to the whole thing. But she she was promoting, and we did her music video, and like they needed like 10 to 15 foreigners, whatever. And we got the demo video, and so we had like practice before we met up together at a dance studio to like rehearse it before we go meet with the artist to do like the whole scene together, like to do the dance together before the shoot, to rehearse it. And when we did the pre-rehearsal practice, we had received the video that we received from the company that hired us was completely different. Like, not completely different, like we were only supposed to be doing the chorus, but the chorus had changed and nobody knew. So the company that sent like the artist's company sent us like a old version of the choreography. So when we got to the rehearsal with the artist, we found out
was she doing something new, and y'all like,
right? No, that's actually what happened. Like we were actually doing the dance, and midway we were like, wait, this is like a completely different choreography. So the choreographer explained to us like, well, like she was like, oh, like, did you guys not learn this? And we were like, no, like we only learned what was given to us. And the guy who was semi in charge of us, like, it wasn't his responsibility to be in charge of us, but the company that hired us had left him in charge of us. And I felt so bad for him.
So it's like a miscommunication type of thing.
It was a lot of miscommunication from both the company side and from like both companies. So we had to learn new choreography, and I was like panicking, not really panicking, but I was like trying to reprocess everything. And the artist looked at me, and I guess because she saw my face, she was like, whiting. And I felt so bad because I was actually a fan of hers. So I was like, oh my God, like, homegirl's telling me to chill out.
Damn. Oh, she can say that easy because she's already knows the choreography. Like, ma'am, you're the famous one
like,
here.
It was just interesting to see, like, she saw that I was like kind of out of, like, not in my right mind, and she was like, you know, like, good luck, like, you can do it, whatever. But I just felt bad because I'm like,
why did you feel bad? It was not
because like
on
my
you.
thing is like, yeah, we're all people, but like my job is to be there to enhance your.
That's not your fault.
It isn't, but I could have handled it. I could have reacted differently.
No, you couldn't, because it was never your fault. Like, what were you gonna be like? I'm sorry, I didn't learn the new choreo that you didn't.
No, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have just like stood there and just be like, okay, because the next time I had to do another choreography like that, another dance like that, I reacted the way I thought I should have reacted that
before.
Day. Yeah. So
how did you react? I thought you were just panicking.
No, I was just like
super shocked.
Yeah. And then I started doing shit like this.
So you were like out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought you were just shocked, and I was just like, that's normal to be shocked.
I was expressing it.
Did a little bit more than just shocked.
I was a little dramatic.
A little bit dramatic. But I don't even know how we got to that topic. But yeah, working with celebrities after a while when you're in the entertainment industry is not a rah-rah anymore. It's just like another day at work. Yeah. Who's the best celebrity that you've worked with in those years? Like one who still sticks in your head, like, oh, wow, this person was really cool.
I will say the most recent one was Twice. Like the Misamo members.
The who?
Misamo. Like the
Japanese group,
Japanese unit from Twice.
Is it the Korean group just with certain people in the Japanese group, or?
No. So Misamo was like just the only Japanese members. They're a subunit for Twice.
But they're in Twice.
Yeah, they're in Twice.
Okay. So it's just Twice, but the
Twice
Japanese
is like,
girls.
Twice is 9 members. They have one
Twice is 9 members?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 4 people.
9.
That's a lot.
9 of them girls.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's the Japanese members, because we were with them like so often.
You have to see them a lot.
Even though I worked with Nayeon as well, like our interactions were kind of limited because we would rehearse, we would like, converse.
You didn't travel with her, right? But you traveled with this member, so it makes sense.
Like we were with them like all the time.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, if you're traveling with someone, I feel like you're more inclined to know them better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Misamo members. Misamo members.
Mina, Sana, Momo.
Oh, they just made like.
Make it shorter, yeah.
Chad, how do you feel about the state of K-pop right now? Because I feel like you've listened to K-pop for a very long time.
I just listen to it based off of vibes. Like I don't really have the capacity to stand anybody. I'm very much a second gen boy, and I feel like that's kind of like when no I feel like K-pop peaked
Mm-hmm.
at third gen.
What does that mean? Third gen. Who
Third
would
gen
be?
like
Or when did you notice that K-pop was peaking for you?
I want to say like 20 from like 2012 to 2016 like that.
You think 2012 it was peaking?
Yeah, because I will like I feel like now there's so many groups
Yeah.
and it's a little oversaturated.
It's very oversaturated.
And it's like if I hear like if a
2012.
group comes out with like a new sound, like
Yeah.
not a new sound, but like a sound that's not trendy,
Yeah.
I find that to be more appealing than like everybody sticking to the same thing. Like if it's your
Mm-hmm.
group's concept, I guess that makes
Mhm.
sense. But like when groups suddenly change
Mhm.
their whole sound just to like fit
The
a
Western
trend,
standard.
yeah, it's not for me. Like one group that I will say that I do really enjoy is New Jeans.
Oh,
And
they're
I
not a
don't
group anymore.
see. It's so unfortunate because I don't.
So
I
unfortunate.
don't.
That was an evil laugh. It made it seem like I don't like them. I don't listen to any of these people. That
Which
wasn't
is
like
fair,
a
yeah.
wah, 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 like
Yeah.
no. I just don't listen to them.
I feel like their music makes me feel like really like relaxed.
Hmm. They seem to make fun music.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
miss
chill
that.
fun music.
Like music that's not
Yeah.
like Orange Caramel. Like I miss.
Oh
their,
my god, I miss
yeah.
Orange Caramel.
Like
Oh my
them, like
goodness, they
after
were so
school,
fun.
21. Well,
After
21's
In
back.
Secret.
Yeah.
Oh.
Madonna, 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 Madonna.
Na 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 na. Na. Ha, na.
Yeah, like just groups
K-pop
that like
back
made
then was
music
so
really fun.
good.
Yeah,
So
like I just
good.
really miss those times, and like with New Jeans, a lot of
Remember,
the
I'm
music is
sorry.
nostalgic.
Remember Brown Eyed Girl Sign?
Yeah,
Dun, 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 dun. Ah, K-pop back then was so fun. Yeah. Now I don't know what they're making, but K-pop back then was.
It was it. It was it, and
It
I
was
think that's
it.
like it's not even like
It's not
for
a-
us it's nostalgic just because
Yeah.
we were listening to it at that time, but like
Mhm.
it really was impactful.
Yeah, now it's kind of just. You can tell a lot of groups are trying to get into the Western market. But back then, they didn't really care about the Western market. They were
Yeah.
just making K-pop for Koreans and whoever happened to listen to them.
And I don't even think it's that much of a big deal to
Mhm.
make it for a specific demographic, but at the same time, I feel like it's lost a lot of its magic that it used to have.
Yes.
And I'm not even talking about the lyrics because,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can have a whole song in English, I don't care. You
Yeah.
can have a whole song in Korean, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I think it's like the music itself
Mhm.
and like the whole. I don't know. It just feels so different.
It's
I
different
don't
when
know how to
they're.
explain it.
I don't want to say pandering, but when they're trying to go to a market that was never meant for K-pop in the first place, it's going to have to change because
Well-
it was not meant for the Western audience, but now it's technically for the Western / outside of Korea audience.
Well, I will say, like, even with like another example is New Jeans, like they kind of branch, like their whole sound was basically like 90s, like Y2K girls,
Mhm.
girlies,
Oh yeah, it
whatever.
is Y2K-ish.
But they always adapt their sound to a different genre or
Mhm.
like subgenre of whatever their music style is.
Yeah.
So like they did Jersey Clubhouse,
No.
they did New Jack Swing, like they've branched out into different subgenres within a genre.
Mhm.
So I do really enjoy that about them because it's not like they're completely changing their whole sound.
Yeah.
They're using their sound and adapting it to another.
I already have a question in mind after you finish that sentence.
Okay. They're adapting it to another concept.
Yeah.
So like I do enjoy that a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Go for it.
I'm about to become very controversial with
What's
this
this
statement.
pregunta?
So, you know how K-pop is technically just a whole lot of black music made into K-pop. It's just I don't know. I know people are not gonna agree with that statement, but it's a lot of black culture in K-pop
Yeah.
that they take and make K-pop, right? How do you?
What is this lip quiver? Oh my god.
I'm
She's
trying.
shaking.
I'm trying to be so politically correct right now,
Politically.
but
What's this?
what do you? How do you feel? I don't know how to ask this question. How do you feel about the blackization? That's not
The
wrong word.
niggelization?
The niggelization
The
of K-pop,
niggeration?
without saying it's the niggelization of K-pop.
How do I feel about it?
How do you feel about it? Like them taking certain things like AAVE, adding it to their vocabulary, like twerking. I don't want to say twerking is black culture, but it is part of African culture. Like taking twerking, putting it in their music. Edges being called, what the heck were edges being called by Koreans? Not baby hairs. It was like there's this one famous Jungwoo-young, I think is her name.
Oh, Wonyoung?
Wonyoung. She had like done baby hairs and they started calling it after her when it's technically black culture. The addition of like long fingernails, that's black culture. Like, how do you feel about black culture being put into Korean K-pop and them not wanting to give credit to black people for it?
That's so loaded. Damn.
It's a very loaded question, guys. Very loaded.
How do I feel?
How do you feel about it?
Ooh, not the bottom of my shoes being dirty.
Mine is too.
Uggs.
Yeah. How do you feel about the
the
sprinkle of black culture?
I think
the sprinkle.
No, it's a whole splash.
It's just a whole lot of black culture in K-pop.
I think I've become desensitized to it because I've been like exposed to it for so long.
Oh, facts.
Like I've gone to shoots and like I've seen non-black artists or like even extras with like dreads and long nails, tan skin, and I'm like, okay, like we don't, like black people don't own tan skin, but if this is honestly an intentional thing to like look darker, then like for what reason? Like it's fucking annoying. But what I will say,
you're trying to be nice, but that's what I was trying to get out of it. It's not really annoying, funny. Yeah, it's not fun.
It's really annoying because like I had a conversation with a friend about this before. It might have actually been you, but it feels like I obviously am a black man.
Yeah.
Paris is an African woman. She's black.
Yeah.
And you come to a country where like they seem to idolize you and hate you at the same time.
Ooh, now that's a word.
And which is like whatever, like there's nowhere that black people can go that's not Africa where you can
black
feel
African countries, not the north or parts of the south. Yeah,
there's like nowhere that we can actually go to feel completely celebrated.
Yep.
And you come somewhere where they they capitalize off of your image
and your culture
yeah, but don't want to necessarily include you. So it's just like for the aesthetic only. And I get aesthetics are everything. Like, yes, we are innovators.
Yeah. Black people really are innovators.
Every time.
Yeah.
But I feel like I said this last time in your podcast that like you can go to clubs in like in Hongdae, which I don't do, but
we used to.
But you can go there and, you know, dance to hip hop music, but then like Koreans will look at you like you're crazy at the clubs. And I'm like, you're literally your pants are sagging, you're wearing a do-rag, and you're looking at me like I'm nuts because I'm in a club in your country that's playing my music.
And the best part is when they don't allow you in that club that's playing your music.
Wild. But yeah, so like I think in K-pop, like honestly, like it's ignorance.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are still learning.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's 2024. You have the internet.
It's 2025, Colin.
But you know what? Like, it's 2025.
He's like, correction. Yeah.
It's 2025. And you have... The internet is literally like at the palm of our hands.
The Googlers is right there.
You had to Google these things in order to like look it up. So like it's not that hard to easily go and look to see like what the references are, or like I don't expect people to do deep research because I know nobody does deep research to do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Aesthetics are aesthetics, but at the same time, like if you know something is even slightly tied to another culture, do some research. That's like me running around in a hijab. Why would I do that?
Why would you?
Why?
Why would you?
I have no. First of all, no religious connection
to it. And on top of that, it's like, why?
It would be insane.
It's like when I see them with do-rags on, I'm like, why?
You have no way.
You have a do-rag on.
What waves are you trying to form?
Like, why do you have a do-rag on?
Truly.
Like, why are you making your hair 4C hair and you had Asian hair before? Like,
a lot of it's crazy.
I'm saying this with a wig on. I know somebody's like, but you have a wig. It's
you
not
have
the same. A wig.
You have a piece.
Piece. But it's just like, I don't know.
Like, I don't want to be here like, oh, woe is me. I'm a nigga. Like,
I'll do it for you. Woe is me.
I just
Yeah.
find it to be. It's never fun when
It's
you like.
not. When something is
I
being
don't know,
taken from
like-
you without the acknowledgement that it's from you.
Because the thing is, like, when I was younger and I like
Yeah.
was listening to K-pop or like, you know, heavily influenced by Asian culture, I wasn't running around in like a hanbok or kimono talking about, oh, this is the life for me, konnichiwa. Like, this is like, I
Can
would
you
never.
imagine?
It's insane to me. Like, I was,
Konnichiwa.
but it's like, because like,
That's how ridiculous it
'cause
literally is.
even my
to
brother
us.
and I, were very, like, we loved anime growing up.
Konnichiwa is killing me. I'm sorry.
Arigato gozaimasu. Like, I would just never.
Yeah.
So it's just like I would never think about appropriating somebody else's culture. Like, no matter, like, even like, yeah, I grew up in a melting pot of a country. Like, I'm from the U.S.
Yeah.
Like Chicago, even. So we have literally everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I grew up like that. But like, there are ignorant people in Chicago too.
Facts.
Everywhere you go. But
Yeah.
like, I didn't expect to come here and like have it thrown in my face.
It's really thrown in our face. And I think
At work too.
it really is thrown in your face at your job too. I feel like for me, the first time I really realized the impact the black people really truly have to K-pop is when I have to fact check this, but I will never forget this. I think I'm 100% right. I don't think I'm making this up. I think I was in high school, and there's a time Taeyang had dreads.
He
I
did.
don't know, right?
Oh,
And I remember
weren't they blonde?
they were blonde and black, if I'm not wrong. I remember this was on, I don't know if I want to shout them out, and he was asked why he got dreads, and he says he wants to feel the suffering of black people.
No. Okay. Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Thank God I'm not the only one who remembers that. I remember reading that as a child and being like, dreads can't make you feel the suffering.
Now, if you want to find a massive,
I'm sorry. Like, dreads don't have anything to do with the.
it's for protecting my
Why
scalp.
would Taeyang said that? Like, and you know,
Protecting
I was
my
a
hair.
Big Bang fan that time. That's why I don't think I'm wrong. I think this is something that I'm 100% right that I saw. But I remember it's from so long ago, you might not be able to see it just
No,
by
I'll be able to
typing it
find
in.
it.
But I just remember seeing
Something
that
like that is
article
actually
and
very-
just being like, why would you get dreads and think that's how black the I don't even know how to put this whole sentence in words. Why would you get dreads and say it's because you're trying to feel the hurt that black people went through? That's the first time I realized how much black culture really has an impact on K-pop. And then I realized it's not a good impact because they're so ignorant. And they just say it thinking it's not ignorant. But I understand they're saying it not thinking it's ignorant because they don't know better.
Right.
Like, they don't know that you can't say stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't. I don't know if I should compare it like this. Like, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Censor yourself,
Because
sis.
even
Censor.
I have to censor myself because it sounds like so bad me saying it. But it's if I was to say it equates to what Taeyang was saying. But for him, he thought, Jesus.
Oh no, I know exactly what you're gonna say. Don't do it. No, don't do it.
But for him, he thought it was okay because he was so ignorant on black culture back then, you know? And I think that's like something, and you know what makes me even more annoyed about K-pop? This is probably another reason why I don't listen to K-pop anymore. It's the black K-pop fans who cape for these K-pop fans who are completely like ignorant to black culture or doing things to black culture that are so unhinged. But there's some K-pop fans who are black who will cape for them and be like, no, it's okay, or no, and it's not okay. You should be educating your K-pop idol or whatever. But for them, they cape for them. And I'm just like, don't cape for these people. Educate them if you like them enough. Because caping for them just makes them do it more. Like, they're going to come out with another album with a freaking do-rag on. They're going to come with another album with these long nails on talking with AAVE. It's not okay.
That's
Like,
when
it's
that
literally
group,
not
whatchamacallit, What's
okay.
Up came out.
I don't even know what that
What's
is.
up?
They're called What's Up?
What's up?
Like WASSUP? What's up?
With dollar signs.
Ah! Hey.
Now, what I tell
Not
you,
the dollar
I used to
signs.
live for their music only because I was trash back then. But like,
You're too much of a stan.
they
You were
were
in too
basically
deep.
like, they were a twerking K-pop group.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, them. And the music was giving. I won't. 머리가 흔들흔들 엉덩이 흔들흔들.
But it's still like
치치치치
you know where they're getting this
Oh,
from.
100%.
Yeah.
And I love the music though. That I think that's what
You're
was,
contributing to why this is not okay, Colin. Because it's not
look
okay.
at where I am now. That was 12 years ago.
Oh. Oh, I thought they were recent. Okay, so it's
Hell
not who
no.
I think I'm talking about some group called Cocoa Butter or something like that.
Cocoa Butter.
Yeah. Remember the group that was like this like really like tan, this Korean girl who had tanned a lot. I think they were from a dance group and then they made a song and it was like their name is Cocoa Butter, which is like you know who I'm talking about because we've talked about this before, Colin.
I forgot.
It was a dancer
Yeah.
who I think was from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
She got out of Street Fighter and made a music video.
Yeah.
And they were called Cocoa Butter.
Are you talking about
This was maybe like 5 years ago or 4 years ago.
not cocoa butter? Well, they're just twerking in the house.
No, this is like a legit like high production thing. Coca and butter, midea. You don't remember this video? They were all like super tan, like just a lot of black culture being thrown in your face.
Please, I hope it's not who I think it is.
They're dancers.
Yeah, okay.
Do you remember this video?
We were talking about this when it first came out.
Yeah, I remember us talking about this. But this is like one of those
forgot
videos
about
I
this.
watched and I was like, black people are powerful.
We are.
Without black people would be bored, to be
Yeah,
honest. And
all
I
the
feel like
time.
the world needs to admit, like, without black people, a lot of y'all would be so bored.
Yeah.
Because there's no creativity without black people at this point.
Ever.
There isn't. And K-pop would just be the most boring genre ever if black people didn't exist. And I think it's time people admit that. And people are going to be like, no, you're wrong. But there's just so much influence from black culture to K-pop that it's just...
Because I don't hear no Koreans singing country music.
True.
Who's out here singing Taylor Swift on the streets?
Ugh.
It's all about John Legend, Bruno Mars,
Beyonce.
Beyonce.
The Beyonce. It's always...
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child. Like, it's always something tied to black culture.
Yeah.
For me right now, I'm over it. Like, even now when I see like a Korean man with dreads, I don't care. If I see a Korean
laugh
man
on the
with
inside.
4... like, I just go, your hair finna be fucked when you take them out. That's like the most I'll say. But I would never be like, why do you have it on your head? I'm just gonna be like, what am I gonna do? Fight you because you have dreads?
Yeah.
Keep them. It's fine. Now, when you go to take them out, the amount of hair that's gonna fall out, it's
Good
the ancestors telling you, why did you do that?
I can't even relate. I have no hair. I'm bald as the sun.
Colin is bald. But yeah, it's interesting. The blackenization of K culture, no, K-pop. But yeah, it's time for everybody to admit without a lot of y'all would be bored. And it is what it is. Period, poo. When you were listening to K-pop back in the day, did it ever affect your blackness? Like, did you ever go through a phase where you didn't feel black enough because you were listening to K-pop?
I had...
You were young. I feel like whatever you say, like, as long, like, you were probably a teenager, which
I was.
teenagers do dumb stuff.
Well, honestly, I had a very unhealthy
Relationship with Asian culture?
relationship with blackness back then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Plot twist. I was expecting you to say Asian culture, not black, being black.
No, because
In what
like
way?
the thing is, like, I always grew up around like everyone.
Yeah.
Like, only people who really were black in my life consistently were my family. And it wasn't to say that they like never put me in places that like had black people in it. Like, you know, they did their best.
Yeah.
But I think mentally, I spent so much time around everyone else where I didn't really care. Like, I didn't really see my blackness.
Yeah.
I just saw people. And that could have been like the innocent side of me. It could have been the ignorant side of me. But then when I became a teenager and like I started listening to K-pop, I did really enjoy it. And it didn't really affect my blackness. But I think at that time there was, because you know, like how black people love to be like, oh yeah, I'm like a quarter Native American here and there, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So that was in conversation a lot of times, like amongst my family. Not the quarter part, like 1/8 or 1/16, like all that, like Cherokee, Chickasaw, like all that stuff. And then, you know, we found out some information that is still rumored today about my great grandfather being from Mexico or like having Mexican descendancy.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that right?
Mexican descent.
He's a
Is
Mexican
a descendant
descent.
from
Yeah,
Mexico.
he's like of Mexican descent.
Oh, our English sucks.
Trash.
Yeah.
But then, then I was like, oh, so I'm like Native American and Hispanic and Black, and then like did some research.
I'm not full Black. I'm also Mexican
Well, see,
and Native
there
American.
was a time back then as well where you were like proud to be mixed, and I was like, well, fuck, like
I'm mixed too.
I'm just a nigga. So
I thought you were gonna say I'm mixed too. Yeah.
Well, like, cause I was under the impression that like I was mixed.
Yeah.
So it was like I was excited and like I kind of.
Because it was.
I was still very aware that I was Black, but I was more interested in like the other parts of me.
Because it became like an interesting thing now. Yeah.
Like so it was interesting, and then like what was it? When I went home to America, I read a paper that I wrote based on like Native American culture. Cause
you read a paper that you wrote?
Yeah. Well, like it was like for high school.
Should have said you. Oh. So this is in the future. We read this paper.
This was like when I went.
Or are you writing an? Okay. I thought you meant
literally said
I wrote this paper and read it.
No.
Sorry.
When I went home, I read a paper that I wrote in high school. I should have said
there
that.
we go. Okay.
I wrote a paper that I read in high school about Native American culture because we had to do like a cultural day.
Okay.
And I chose Native American just because like that was
You're
some
16th
shit.
Native American.
That was some shit that my family had told me about, which could be true, but it's not showing up on my ancestry DNA. So that's that. But
should have told you about you being Nigerian.
Look, didn't even know that. Well, we didn't have that technology back then.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, like I was writing about the Native Americans and how they crossed the Bering Strait to come into America from Asia, and then I was like, so I must be part Asian. If I can find it next time I go home, I'm gonna bring it home. I'm gonna bring it back to Korea.
You know, it's funny because you're a teenager. If you wrote that as an adult, I would be
absolutely
crying.
the fuck not. But at that time, I was like so excited because also like there was that girl in high school that I liked.
Yeah.
Was
she Asian?
She was Korean. So like just everything at the same, like I was overwhelming myself with like possibilities.
Trying to be more than Black.
Right.
Something more than Black. Yeah.
Now I love being a nigga.
We wake up and we're like, thank God.
Look in the mirror like, ooh.
God did that.
Melanin.
He did that.
Melanin.
Yeah.
But like there's this thing like growing up as a Black person and as a Black child in America, like people, your family only does as much as they can.
Of course.
But you get to a certain age where people around you will start telling you like random shit like, oh, you're just another statistic.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
damn.
Like
that's rude.
It is. But like it also comes from children who also learn that from their parents.
Yeah.
Who are not Black.
Yeah.
So it's like, at what point do you like, you're consuming all of these different like negative or positive vibes from people around you, and it's like, what part of it do you take, or what part of it do you believe? And for me, I was very successful. I was very impressionable.
Yeah.
When I was younger. Now I'm just like now as an adult, I appreciate the fact that I was able to come into myself without being influenced by a lot of other people. But back then, trash.
Talk about it. I look at my days in high school and middle school liking K-pop, and it's embarrassing. Because
then at one point, I feel like every K-pop, avid listener of K-pop has done this. They listen to K-pop, then they watch the music video. They love the music video so much that they start going to go buy clothes that fit the music video.
Oh, I haven't done that. I didn't have money as a kid.
Well, like not clothes, but like you start like your
aesthetic changes. That's when I got on Yes Style. Yes Style I was in my bag with Yes Style when I started liking K-pop.
I started buying those like baggy jogging pants and shit like that.
For me, it was the leggings with a shirt, like a long shirt on top. I was in my Korean fashion bag.
Well, that's the thing. Like you do pick up on certain things, but then like when you become a full adult and you start realizing that like you kind of did like a reverse.
Now you're
Be like, damn, they were copying me, and we were trying to copy them. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? as kids, we were trying to copy like the Koreans, and now like as an adult, you realize, oh snap, they're kind of just mimicking a lot of black culture.
Isn't that what she was wearing back in TLC?
Literally, I think K-pop affected me a lot as a child because liking K-pop made me not accepted by a lot of black kids in my school. Like they saw me as pretending to be Asian because I liked K-pop. So it was hard for me to get in with the black kids at my school.
Yeah.
Because to them, I wasn't black enough.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me, by the way.
Well, my thing is like, I had the same issue as well, but it was not as bad. Like a lot of my friends, like a couple of my closest friends, like they would make fun of me, but in a way that a friend would. Not like...
In a way a bully would.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they would be like, oh, you go, but it's like, oh, like when we get home, like what do you want to listen to? Are you gonna play some K-pops? Like you gonna play that good old 21 or the SNSD?
Yeah. At least they knew the names.
Well, because I would always sing their shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I was out in the hallways like... I remember 2011 when SNSD released their first Japan album. I was singing the whole song, like all of their songs.
Yeah.
And this one girl next to me, during a computer science class, she was like, "Oh, who's that?" Because I wasn't doing my fucking work.
You were listening to K-pop and J-pop.
And J-pop, pulled up their music, and she was like, "Oh, I kind of like this," and I was like, "Oh, well, like this is them." I explained it to them, like that kind of curiosity instead of like judging you. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
But there were some other people I just like deliberately ignored because they were just annoying, and I was like, whatever, like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you ever get because you liked K-pop, oh, you must want to marry a Korean person?
Well, yeah,
or
like
you're
I got
gonna
that
marry
too,
a Korean person.
For me, like all of my interest for Asian culture and like as a whole started from like when I was 2. Like it wasn't something that just like came out of nowhere because I like the specific genre of music.
Yeah.
And it's just like my dad, like he loves Asian culture, like Korean culture, Japanese culture, like he loves Asian films. Like he like used to watch like Taiwanese films when we were younger, Chinese films, like no regard for the culture. Like he was like, I'm sorry, no.
Fuck the culture.
Like he didn't care about like where it was from. He just loved
everything.
Consuming
Different
Asian media as a whole. And so like my brother and I, we grew up kind of in a similar boat. Like we knew we were black. We didn't really see anything else, but it was just like we enjoyed it as much as my father did. And that was kind of like our way of bonding. Yeah, so like it wasn't like it wasn't like all of a sudden like, oh yeah, I love Asian culture, oh Koreans. Like it wasn't that. It was more so like, oh, like this is something familiar to me. I like the music. Tadao. Like,
and it's there.
Yeah. And now I'm here.
I know. When I realized I was too deep into K-pop was when I first went, like when I joined my first dance group in Penn State, when I was going to Penn State. Shout out PSU.
Hey.
Main campus, because the other campuses.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Basura.
I was just kidding. The Nastregi is just, we're the main campus. Anyways, is when I went, oh my God, this is embarrassing. I went to our first dance meeting. I believe it was like our first dance meeting. And there was one Korean person at the time. And I remember being like, oh, you listen to K-pop? And she just looked so disgusted at me.
Well, fuck me and my music.
I would like to also add, I was 18 years old. I was a child. I don't want somebody thinking I was like 20 something. But that's the first thing I was like, that's the first time I was like, oh, wow, I'm like way too deep into this K-pop stuff. And then on top of that, what I appreciate a lot about that dance group, I was part of Ram Squad, if anybody went to Penn State, is it allowed me to discover other genres of music. Because when you're in a dance team, you're not only listening to one genre. Like we would listen to Spanish music, African music, K-pop, not really, but like it would just be a lot of genres. And I think that's when I started leaving the K-pop bag and starting to listen to a lot more Afrobeats, hip hop, rap. And I appreciate what K-pop did for me when I was a child because I think it kept me on this straight and narrow. I think if I didn't listen to it, I would have probably been part of the group that hurt me in high school.
I was going to say something and I probably don't think I should.
Just say it.
Like the baby ghettos.
What's a baby ghetto? What's a baby ghetto? The ghetto kids?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would have been part of that group.
I was close.
Oh, we definitely wouldn't have been friends then. Like, I appreciate it, but it's not for me. But I think K-pop kept me in like my studies a lot more. Like, I didn't have a lot of friends, so I had to like be really on top of my studies. I wasn't roaming the streets. I wasn't getting pregnant as a teenager. I wasn't even looking at boys. Like, K-pop just kept me. So I appreciate it, but I think it did affect my blackness in the way that I hadn't quite understood how powerful being black was. I think I actually envied Asians at that point. Like, I think I had an envy for Asians because it's like, oh, you guys' culture is so cool. Like, you guys are so cool. Not realizing how powerful being black is.
And not even knowing what they were going through too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not even that. Just growing out of it, I have been like, I've never looked back. I'm black and I'm proud. That's how I feel right now. Like, I may be in Korea. I still appreciate Korean culture, of course. I don't really listen to K-pop just because the genre has changed so much. It's not for me anymore. But especially being surrounded by non-black people, it's made me appreciate my culture more. Being black, being African.
That's the big part,
yeah, where I think some people might be so deep into Korean culture, when they come to Korea, they want to just hang out only with Koreans, listen to K-pop, which nothing wrong with that. But for me, it's hit me so hard living in Korea. How happy I am. God did his big one making me black. And that, not trying to hate on other races or anything, but I'm really in tune with that now. And it makes me so happy that I'm like, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm
really
Kenyan
into being
and
a
I'm
nigga
proud.
right now.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Shout out to all my Negroes out there. Power to you.
But I'm like, that's how it affected my blackness. But I'm happy I got out of it, because I went to a school called Upper Darby High School, and
sounds horrible.
it was trash. I was gonna say sorry. I'm not sorry. It was trash. And I made the first Korean pop music and culture club. That's how deep in my bag I was. I was a pioneer in that school. Okay. If that club is still alive, just know I'm the pioneer of that club. I see you. It's probably not a club anymore. But yeah, I was like, you know what? K-pop has done a lot for me, but I'm glad I'm out of it.
No, I was definitely worse.
You were worse? In what way?
I learned
Korean?
I started learning Korean to impress homegirl in high school.
Hey.
But it got worse when I started learning G.
What's G?
From SNSD.
Yeah.
No,
why were you learning it?
So I can communicate with homegirl. And
you learned G to communicate with
the
Korean
to learn
girl in your class?
To learn like Korean. Like my initial goal was.
Is she Korean or Korean American?
No, Korean.
Oh,
like
okay.
She was a transfer student.
Ah, okay.
Well, exchange student.
Yeah,
there we go.
That makes sense.
And
that's cute though. It's kind of cute.
And I was like, because I didn't know any Korean. Like I was like, oh Lord, like what am I gonna do?
Annyeong.
Yeah, that's rude.
Where
the honorifics at?
She's like, bitch, I'm older than you.
Onion?
Annyeong. Yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
It would have. And
yeah.
she, like, I did ask her every once in a while for some help. And there's another guy who actually lives in Korea. I just saw him, like, last year.
Yeah.
No, earlier this year. His name is Ha.
Yeah.
Well, we called him Ha, but his real name is Jongkwang.
Yeah.
Jongkwang.
And where did Ha come from?
Well, his last name.
Oh, okay, Ha Jongwon. Okay.
But nobody could pronounce his first name except for me.
Yeah.
Because for obvious reasons.
You were deep in the culture.
Really, 100%.
Yeah.
And so we called him Ha. But yeah, like he would help me every once in a while, like learn Korean or like teach me something like every like once in a while. And then there was the Korean club, and I literally joined just so that I could learn and spend more time with her. I think I did a lot.
I mean, it's kind of cute though.
It was cute, but like thinking about it now, like it was very Korea boo coded.
No, I think that's
in a sense
the opposite of Korea, because you're at least trying to learn about her culture before approaching her. Yeah. You're not just throwing like a bunch of words at her that you don't even know what they mean.
Yeah.
What do you think a Korea boo is? Like, how would you define Korea boo?
I feel like Korea boos are people who try to overcompensate for their personal race to be more Korean-like. Like people who do aegyo for attention.
Who are non-Korean, right?
I don't even like it when Koreans do it. I'm gonna be real frank with you.
Because it's just not part of our culture, so it's like a little.
Right. It's not cute. But yeah, I feel like it's even worse then. But
see what ChatGPT says a Korea boo is. I should be using Copilot.
Like find it because I think
because it's hard to define,
everybody's
isn't it?
perception about like a weeaboo is different from
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see.
For many people.
So a Koreaboo, according to ChatGPT, is a term used to describe someone who is excessively obsessed with Korean culture, especially K-pop, K-dramas, and other aspects of South Korean entertainment and lifestyle, to the point of idealizing or stereotyping it. Stereotype is the biggest word there. The term can sometimes carry a negative connotation, implying that the person may be overtly fixated or might disregard other aspects of Korean culture or history. So they're only seeing like the 반짝반짝하는 Korean culture. They're not really seeing the culture
so
for
they're like,
it.
I love BTS, but Kim Sejong, who is that?
King Sejong. We don't know him. Viewing South Korea as a perfect place and ignoring its complexities. Second is misunderstanding or misusing elements of Korean culture. Very big. So cultural appropriation, basically. Right. Believing that all Koreans are like this. You are an idiot if you think this. I said that with my whole chest. Believing that all Koreans are like the celebrities they see in entertainment or media. You're a useless goat if you think these people
I've never
are the same in entertainment as they are in real life. I have. Oh. As a child. As a child when I was in K-pop. I think I was a K-boo. I think I was a K-boo, actually.
I probably was too.
Yeah.
But I think my perception was a little bit different just because I had a lot of Koreans around me at that time.
Mm-hmm. I had no
Koreans. I realized
Koreans.
that everybody was just different. But
you had no Koreans around me. I think I was a K-boo in the sense that, first of all, I didn't have any Korean friends to even, fact check what I'm thinking.
My first friend in life was a Korean dude. Still talk to him today.
What were you, like 2?
Girl, I was in preschool.
Oh, interesting.
Jason Lee. Shout out to you, Jason Lee. I hope
so
you're doing
many
well.
Jason Lees out there.
DJJ.
But I think I was a K-boo in the aspect that because I was consuming so much K-pop and K-drama, I thought that's how Koreans were. So yes, I was an idiot. But obviously growing up, you learn.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always confused when older people are K-boos. Like when you're over the age, this is going to hit somebody bad. I feel like you shouldn't be a K-boo after the age of 24 to 25. I think you should be an adult enough to Google or at least know that what you see on TV is not reality.
Somebody who's 23 is like, oh, I have 1 year left.
I can be a K-boo for 1 year. I only say this because of the whole your brain develops at 25. And I also know I did a lot of dumb stuff when I was 21, 22. So I'm trying to give it grace. I honestly think after 18, you should not be a K-boo. You should know better. But I feel like somebody who is sheltered and is 18, they might not know better. But when I see older people moving what is, according to ChatGPT, a K-boo, it's very confusing to me.
Because I know that with certain things, people create a paranormal
relationship.
That's not the word.
It's parasocial, I think.
There we go.
Is it parasocial?
It's parasocial. Yeah,
let's double check before somebody's like, "You idiots."
While you do that, I'm gonna take a protein drink.
Is it called? Yeah, you're right. It's parasocial. It's a parasocial relationship.
So people create parasocial relationships with actors that they see on TV or singers and things like that. So they're they believe that this is what that person is really like, and people who listen to K-pop and watch K-dramas or consume Korean media, once they create a parasocial relationship with the other, I think it fills the void that they're looking for. Facts. To a certain extent. I even had that situation happen to me as well when I was listening to music SNSD.
It filled a void.
It filled a void. I was trying to find something that would make me happy, and their music did that for me. And it wasn't oh yeah, anybody who's not SNSD. I wasn't those kind of stands.
You were a huge stan, yeah.
I just really enjoyed their music.
Yeah.
But there are people who take it a step further.
Very much further.
And I did come to Korea, 1, to study, and 2, because I wanted to achieve a goal. And learn about the culture a little bit, much more, and be more immersed into what Korea is actually like.
Yeah.
And I was able to fulfill that. But I think also I wanted to do music. I don't think I wanted to be a K-pop artist. A little bit of me did, but I wanted to be more. I wanted to more so be a part of a boy group in order to perform.
Yeah.
It didn't matter where it was, but because K-pop was popping at that time, I came here, you know, that
To
kind
discover stuff.
yeah, to like to try things out, to see like whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It kind of did happen, but
I mean, you're working in what you wanted to work in right now.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing it. I have a loaded question.
Yeah.
Before we end.
Before we what?
Before we end, we're almost at an hour in.
That's
Before
crazy.
finish. Yeah. We didn't even ask any other question we're supposed to ask. I feel like we did a lot more blackness in K-pop. But
Niggas in K-pop.
basically. Whoo, it's gonna be loaded. Okay. How do you feel? I don't know if I'm asking these questions right.
You're not.
How do you feel about foreigners being in K-pop?
What do you mean?
Let me do my wig shake.